Whatever the form by which they are to be subdued, I teach the Dharma in that form. In the world of the Devas, I teach the Dharma in the form of a Deva. In the land of the Nagas, I teach the Dharma in the form of a Naga. In the land of the Yakshas, I teach the Dharma in the form of a Yaksha. In the land of the Pretas, I teach the Dharma in the form of a Preta. In the world of humans, I teach the Dharma in the form of a human. To those sentient beings who are to be subdued by a Buddha, I teach the Dharma in the form of a Buddha. To those sentient beings who are to be subdued by a Bodhisattva, I teach the Dharma in the form of a Bodhisattva. By whatever form it is that sentient beings are to be subdued, I teach the Dharma in that very form. Thus, Savasura, I teach the Dharma to sentient beings in many ways. If one should wonder why that is, Savasura, it is because just as sentient beings hear the Dharma in many ways, so too those sincere sentient beings will make roots of virtue in many ways. They will engage in acts of generosity, they will make merits, they will also go without sleep for their own sake, they will meditate on the mindfulness of death too. They will do such virtuous actions as these that are to be done. Due to having heard the Dharma, they will remember those previous roots of virtue that will come to be for the long-term aim, benefits and happiness of devas and the humans. Savasura, that being so, as soon as the Sanghata Dharmaparyaya is heard, the good qualities and benefits in this way become immeasurable. Those sentient beings spoke to one another. They said, there must be something else also that by having done and accumulated it, one will be manifestly, completely enlightened in the unsurpassed, perfect and complete enlightenment. And the result of the virtuous Dharma of wanting to benefit all sentient beings will ripen. Those who have come to trust in the Dharma will say, there is a Dharma perfectly in accord with things as they are. The great ripening result of their virtue will be the unsurpassed happiness of the Dharma. As for the ignorant, foolish sentient beings who say that there aren't any Dharmas and there is no passing beyond the Dharmas either, their great ripening results will be to go to bad migrations. Again and again, there will be aiming for grounds for bad migrations. For 8 eons, they will experience the suffering sensations of the hell realms. For 12 eons, they will experience the suffering sensations in the lands of Pretas. For 16 eons, they will be born among the Asuras. For 9,000 eons, they will be born among the harmful Bhutas and Pisachas. For 14,000 eons, they will be without tongues. For 16,000 eons, they will die in their mother's womb. For 12,000 eons, they will become round lumps of flesh. For 11,000 eons, they will be born blind and will experience suffering sensations, and their parents will think, we have suffered meaninglessly. The birth of our son was meaningless. Bearing him in the womb for 9 months was meaningless. They will experience the sensation of cold and heat. They will also experience the suffering of hunger and thirst intensely. They will experience many sufferings in this life as well. Although the parents see a son in their house, there is no joy, and the parents' hopes will be utterly dashed. Savasura. In this way, sentient beings who abandon the holy Dharma are aiming for hell and animal rebirths. At their time of death, they will be pierced with great and agonizing pains. Savasura. Those who say, the Dharma exists. There are those who go beyond the Dharmas, who will be born in the north on Uttarakuru for 20 eons by that roots of virtue. For 25 eons, they will born equal in fortune to the devas of the 33. When they die and transmigrate from the 33, they will be born in the north on Uttarakuru. They will not be born in a mother's womb. They will see 100,000 world systems, and these will all be called Sukhavati. They will see all the Buddha fields as well. After seeing them, they will abide right there in them. They will be enlightened in perfect and complete enlightenment right there. Savashura. Thus, indeed, this Sanghata Dharmaparyaya has great power. Those who have a mind inspired with pure faith towards it will never meet their moments of death without having let go of their fears. They will also be endowed with perfectly pure ethics. Savashura. There are some sentient beings who say the Tathagata releases many sentient beings day and night, and yet the realm of sentient beings still has not been depleted. Many make prayers for enlightenment. Many are born in the worlds of higher rebirths. Many achieve nirvana. So why is it that the realm of sentient beings has not been depleted? The heretical practitioners of other traditions, wandering mendicants and naked ascetics, had this thought. Let us go dispute with the renunciates Gautama. Then 84,000 Brahmins, heretical practitioners of other traditions, and wandering mendicants, and many hundreds of naked ascetics arrived there in Rajagriha. And at that moment, the Blessed One displayed a smile. At that, the Bodhisattva, the great being Maitreya, arose from his seat, placed his upper robe over one shoulder, set his right knee on the ground, and bowed down with with palms together toward the Blessed One. He addressed the Blessed One as follows. Blessed One, since Tathagatas, Arhats, perfect and complete Buddhas do not smile without cause and without conditions, what is the cause of the smile and what is the condition? The Blessed One said, Child of the lineage, listen. Today, a great assembly will appear here in Rajagriha. Blessed One, who will be here? Devas or Nagas or Yakshas or humans or non-humans? The Blessed One said, Maitreya, today, Devas, Nagas, Yakshas, humans and non-humans will all come here. 84,000 Brahmins will also come here. 9,000 million heretical practitioners, wandering mendicants and naked ascetics will come, and they will dispute with me. I will teach the Dharma to pacify the disputes of all of them. The Brahmins will all generate the thoughts of unsurpassed, perfect, and complete enlightenment. The 9,000 million heretical practitioners, wandering mendicants, and naked ascetics will all attain the fruits of stream entry. 18,000 million Naga kings will come, and they will hear the Dharma from me. After they have heard it, they will all generate the thought of unsurpassed, perfect, and complete enlightenment. 60,000 million children of the Devas, of the pure abbots, will come. 30,000 million wicked Maras and their attendants will come. 12,000 million Asura kings will come. Kings, 500 in number, together with their retinues, will come to hear the Dharma. After hearing the Dharma from me, they will all generate the thoughts of unsurpassed, perfect, and complete enlightenment. At that, the Bodhisattva, the great being Maitreya, prostrated with his head at the feet of the Blessed One, and after circumambulating the Blessed One 3 times, disappeared on that very spot. At that, the Bodhisattva, the great being Savashura, arose from his seat, placed his upper robe over one shoulder, set his right knee on the ground, placed his palms together, and bowed down to the Blessed One. He said to the Blessed One, Blessed One, what are the names of those kings, 500 in number? The Blessed One said, Savashura, listen. There is the king called Nanda, the king called Upananda, the king called Jinashabha, the king called Brahmasena, the king called Brahmagosha, the king called Sudarshana, the king called Prayasena, the king called Nandasena, the king called Bimbisara, the king called Prasenajit, and the king called Viruddhaka. There are these and the rest of the kings, 500 in number, and each of them has 100,000 million attendants. With the exception of Viruddhaka, each and every one of them has set out for unsurpassed, perfect, and complete enlightenment. 30,000 million bodhisattvas are coming from the eastern direction. 50,000 million bodhisattvas are coming from the southern direction. 60,000 million bodhisattvas are coming from the western direction. 80,000 million bodhisattvas are coming from the northern direction. 90,000 million bodhisattvas are coming from below. 100,000 million bodhisattvas are coming from above. And each and every one of them is abiding on the 10 grounds. Then, in order to see the Blessed One, all those bodhisattvas proceeded to Rajagriha, to where the Blessed One was. And all those bodhisattvas, each and every one, had set out for unsurpassed, perfect, and complete enlightenment. Then the Blessed One said to the bodhisattva, the great being Savashura, Savashura, go to the world systems of the 10 directions and say to all the bodhisattvas, today in the great city of Rajagriha, the Tathagata is teaching the Dharma. Therefore, all you residents of the world systems in the 10 directions, place your palms together and bow down in homage. Say this, and as soon as you have made it understood, come back immediately to listen to the Dharma. At that, the Bodhisattva, the great being Savashura, arose from his seat, prostrated with his head at the feet of the Blessed One, circumambulated the Blessed One 3 times, and then disappeared through supernatural powers. Then the Bodhisattva, the great being Savashura, went to the world systems of the 10 directions and instructed the Bodhisattvas. Today, in the great city of Rajagriha, the Tathagata is teaching the Dharma. Therefore, you should reply to that. Excellent. And on account of that, on this very day, you will receive benefits and attain great bliss. Then, having gone to the world systems of the 10 directions, the Bodhisattva, the great being Savashura, honored all the Buddhas and informed the Bodhisattvas. And in just the amount of time as, for example, a strong person snapping his fingers, the Bodhisattva, the great being Savashura, arrived in the great city of Rajagriha, where the Blessed One was and was present before the Blessed One. Then the Brahmins, heretical practitioners of other traditions, wandering mendicants and naked ascetics, also gathered. Devas, Nagas, Yakshas, many human beings, the kings 500 in number, together with their attendants, and 33,000 million wicked Maras, together with their attendants, also gathered. And at that time, the great city of Rajagriha trembled. A shower of celestial sandalwood powder rained down on the world systems in the 10 directions. And a shower of celestial flowers also rained down and remained in a towering palace at the level of the top knot on the crown of the Blessed One's head. Also, at that time, Indra, the lord of the Devas, wielded a thunderbolt in the presence of the Tathagata. Then at that time, from the 4 directions, 4 massive wings stirred up the earth. After they rose up, they carried off the garbage, sweepings, and dust from the great city of Rajagriha. A shower of fragrant waters rained down on the world systems of 10 directions. A shower of utpala flowers, lotuses, kumuda flowers, and white lotuses rained down on the world systems of the 10 directions, and they all remained as flower canopies above the heads of all those sentient beings. 84,000 towering palaces remained motionless in the space above the crown of the head of the Tathagata. Within the 84,000 towering palaces, there arose 84,000 thrones made of the 7 precious substances. On all of those thrones, Tathagatas are seated and teach the Dharma. Then, this galaxy of 1 billion world systems trembled in 6 ways. And that the Bodhisattva, the great being Savashura, placed his palms together, bowed toward the Blessed One, and said to the Blessed One, Blessed One, what is the cause, what is the condition for the display of such supernatural apparitions here in the great city of Rajagriha? The Blessed One said, it is as follows. To make an analogy, a king rubbed the head of some unstable man, wild, full of ego grasping, full of selfish grasping at things as his own, and also poverty stricken. That man went up to the king's gate. Once he arrived there, he insistently wished to enter inside the palace of the king. At that, the king's ministers and retinue seized him and beat him in many ways. Then at that moment, the king heard that the destitute man insistently wanted to enter inside and thought, "He is undoubtedly someone wishing to kill me." Thinking that, the king became angry and said to his retinue, "You, take that man to a secluded mountain spot and kill him. Kill all his servants, parents, children, male and female slaves, and workers too." After he had issued these instructions, they were all killed. And then his friends and relatives were pierced with unbearable agonizing pains. In the same way too, as soon as the Tathagata Arhat, perfect and complete Buddha, explains the Dharma, just like the arrogant person, childish ordinary individuals also, with respect to the Tathagata, seize upon the form, color, marks, and shape as identifying signs, and think it is the body of the Tathagata. Then, after they have heard many Dharma teachings, they fall into exceptional arrogance and speak all kinds of nonsense. Overcome by ego grasping and selfish grasping at things as their own, they do not themselves listen to this sort of Dharma, nor do they proclaim it. Even when someone is explaining a sutra or a verse or as little as just an analogy, they say, "We ourselves know," and they do not retain it, nor do they lend their ears to listen. If one should wonder why that is, it is because they have become full of arrogance in this way. Because of their extensive learning, they are not attentive. Those who keep company with childish ordinary individuals will not act to become endowed with this sort of Dharma. They will not listen to words endowed with this sort of Dharma. Due to their extensive learning, they become conceited. People like these publish their own compositions. They publish the prefaces to their own texts too. They deceive themselves and the whole world. They pointlessly consume public resources, and having consumed them, they do not digest them well. At their time of death, great fears will arise. Those sentient beings will say to that one, "You have trained us in many crafts. Why are you not able to settle yourself?" He said this to them, "Friends, I am unable to settle myself now." At that, those sentient beings would lament and wail in various ways, just as with no one else to blame, through the contributing cause of their own actions, the large group of relatives were killed for the aims of only that one person. So too, these sentient beings at their time of death will also lament and wail, and they will see themselves aiming towards rebirths as hell beings and animals on account of a non-virtuous friend. In the same way, I say to you Brahmins and heretical practitioners of other traditions, don't become haughty. It is as follows. To make an analogy, without having grown feathers and wings, a bird cannot fly into the sky to go to the world of the devas. In the same way, you cannot reach nirvana either, as you do not have that sort of supernatural power. If one should wonder why, it is because after one is born in a false rebirth through a type of karma, in no time at all, this body will disintegrate and die in the end. At the time of death, after they have lost their sense of taste, they will be thoroughly terrified, thinking, "Why did we hold on to this body? We have not experienced the happiness of the Deva world or the happiness of the human world either, and we will not abide in the abode of nirvana either. Since we pointlessly held on to this body, what is our migration path? Who will be our support? Where will be our birth? And where will be our destruction?" Then the Blessed One said to those heretical practitioners of other traditions, wandering mendicants and naked ascetics, "Do not give up hope on this precious planet Earth. Do not become outsiders to the rare and excellent gem that is the Dharma. Friends, ask the Tathagata whatever you wish, and I will completely fulfill all your wishes." At that, all the Brahmins, heretical practitioners of other traditions, wandering mendicants, and naked ascetics arose from their seats, placed their upper robes over one shoulder, and with palms together asked the Blessed One, "Blessed One, Although Tathagatas have been releasing sentient beings from cyclic existence day and night, there is neither a decrease nor an increase in the realm of sentient beings. Blessed One, due to what cause and what condition do sentient beings display birth and cessation equally? Then the Blessed One said to the Bodhisattva, the great being by Sanghata, in order to clear away great regrets, and in order to set ablaze the lamp of the Dharma, the heretics puts on great armor and asks a great series of questions. In the future, young and old sentient beings will understand birth and disintegration. By Sanghata, there are also old sentient beings who, like young beings, do not know anything at all. By Sanghata, it is as follows. To make an analogy, some person washed his hair, put on new clothes, and went outside his home. People said to him, "You wear your new clothes well." But another person also washed his hair and washed his old clothes. And because they were old, although he had washed his hair, that man was not beautiful. Just as his clothes were not beautiful, so by Sanghata, that there are on the planet Earth are not beautiful, and the young sentient beings display birth and cessation. At that, the Brahmins and heretical practitioners of other traditions and all the wandering mendicants arose from their seats and said to the Blessed One, "Blessed One, who among us is young and who among us is old?" The Blessed One said, "Again and again you have experienced the feelings of hell beings, animals, and pretas, and yet you are still not satisfied. Therefore, you are all old." At that, all the Brahmins and all the Naga kings said to the Blessed One, "We no longer delight in experiencing painful feelings in cyclic existence." The heretical practitioners of other traditions, wandering mendicants, and naked ascetics said, "Nevertheless, among the young sentient beings, there are none who are able to realize emptiness directly." They said this, and the Bodhisattva and the great being by Sanghata said to the Blessed One, "Blessed One, please look at this. Why is it so difficult for sentient beings to be motivated?" The Blessed One said by Sanghata, "Please listen. The Tathagata directly comprehends the entire world. At that, 94,000 million young beings were present before the Blessed One. They did not prostrate to the Blessed One, nor did they say a word. Then the Bodhisattva, the great being by Sanghata, said to the Blessed One, "Blessed One, these sentient beings do not speak to the Blessed One. They are utterly silent and do not prostrate either. What is the reason that they do not answer any questions of the Blessed One? What is the condition?" The Blessed One said by Sanghata, "Listen. You should see that these sentient beings who say the young sentient beings are not able to realize emptiness directly are young sentient beings. And those sentient beings said, 'Venerable Blessed One, we are young sentient beings. Venerable Sugata, we are young sentient beings.' The Blessed One said, 'These sentient beings comprehend the world directly, but now display the measure of the world from your own bodies.' At that time, at that moment, the 94,000 million young beings, without leaving their bodies, hovered in the middle of space and attained the 10 grounds. Then the Bodhisattva, the great being Vaishnaja said to the Blessed One, 'Such sentient beings who make an effort to completely exhaust and completely purify cyclic existence have well achieved their achievements. Blessed One, these are sentient beings who were born on this very day. And Blessed One, on this very day, these sentient beings were thoroughly liberated and they were all seen to attain the 10 grounds.' At that, the Brahmins and heretical practitioners of other traditions, wandering mendicants, naked ascetics, Naga kings, and the wicked Mara and his retinue all arrived for the purpose of deceiving, and said to the Blessed One, 'Blessed One, we have come here before the Tathagata, and now that we have heard this Dharmaparyaya, may we attain the sort of happiness of a Buddha. May we become just that sort of Tathagata, Arhat, perfect and complete Buddha in the world.' The Blessed One said, 'Just so, gentlemen. Regardless of how you have come to the Tathagata, since you have heard this Sanghata Dharmaparyaya, you have generated the mind of the unsurpassed, perfect, and complete enlightenment. That being so, before long, you will all be fully and completely enlightened into the unsurpassed, perfect, and complete enlightenment. As soon as the Blessed One had spoken these words, all those heretical practitioners of other traditions immediately attained the state of forbearance with respect to unproduced phenomena. They also all become bodhisattvas established on the 10 grounds, and thereupon all those bodhisattvas rose up into the air to a height of 7 palmyra trees and offered to the Tathagata towering palaces made of the 7 precious substances. They also all sustained various miraculous emanations and performed acts displaying supernatural powers. Then, abiding above the crown of the head of the Blessed One, they scattered beads of flowers on the Tathagata, and they all contemplated the Tathagata too. They also perceived their own bodies as Buddhas. Many hundreds of thousands of millions of Devasans also scattered flowers on the Tathagata and spoke these words. The ascetic Gautama is a great gain. He is a great field. He is a protector of the world. He has reached the attainment of meditative stabilization. He is a master whose aim is to produce others masters. Through skillful means, gradually, he completely releases sentient beings such as these from cyclic existence. With even just one well-spoken phrase, he completely frees so many sentient beings from cyclic existence. At that, the Bodhisattva, the great being Vaishajasena, arose from his seat, placed his upper robe over one shoulder, set his right knee on the ground, and bowed with his palms together toward the Blessed One. He said to the Blessed One, Blessed One, due to what cause and what condition do these children of the lineage issue forth these words, perform many acts, displaying supernatural powers, and compose many praises of the Tathagata? The Blessed One said, Child of the lineage, listen. They are not praising me, rather they are praising their own bodies, and they will establish their own bodies as holy seats of Dharma. They will emit light rays of Dharma from their bodies. All the Buddhas will support them too, in order to awaken them fully and completely in the unsurpassed, perfect, and complete enlightenment. And when they have become fully and completely enlightened, they will teach the Dharma. Then the Bodhisattva, the great being Vaishajasena, said this to the Blessed One. The Tathagata, the Sugata, completely frees many sentient beings day and night, yet sentient beings still have not been depleted. The Blessed One said, Vaishajasena, it is good, very good that you have thoughts to question the Tathagata on this point. Vaishajasena, it is as follows. To make an analogy, there is some rich person with great wealth and property, possessing much wealth, grain, treasuries, and granaries, and having many dependents, including male servants, female servants, and laborers. In addition to a large mass of wealth, he is in possession of many fields and gardens, such as those that have barley, wheat, rice, beans, lentils, and many other grains. After that person planted the seeds of all the grain in the springtime, at another season, all those seeds would ripen fully. That man would place the various types of grain separately, and having stored them there, he would eat them through to springtime. And then again, he will plant. In the same way, Vaishajasena, sentient beings will also thoroughly deplete all the karma from previous actions, and then they will seek out in fields of merits and produce roots of virtue. Having produced them, they will earnestly practice virtuous dharma, and having made all the dharmas increase, they will produce joy and contentment. Vaishajasena, because of that joyful and contented mind, they will not go to waste for many thousands of millions of eons. Vaishajasena. In the same way, a bodhisattva who has produced the initial thoughts of enlightenment will never be subject to waste. In short, they will realize all dharmas.